Hi, my name is Lai Zizhen. Today I'm going to present my final project in Architecture Design Studio 3. This project is about to design a student community center which is promoting the people's come over to interact with each other and work together at the platform. In my project, I will be focused on the building sustainability by using the aquaponic process, which in terms of the rainwater harvesting system, food production, planting, and the maintenance of the seaweed to able to achieve self-sustain in real life. By using the journey of the building, I hope to deliver a self-sustained message in different spaces to the user through the concept from the aquatic ecosystem applies in this building. Before stepping into the project, I did some exploration on the machine casting model which is responding to the site. And I found out that the first exploration has the potential to develop in terms of the form and the functionality, so I select the first one to further develop it. Firstly, I bend the form which responds to the tree surroundings and gets a natural shade. Then I twist it to make the form follow the flow of the wind and trap the cold air. After that, I shear it and merge into the ground and allow the people to enter from the car parks. Next, I grade it to create an entrance from the car parks to the buildings. Then I extrude this part for the aquarium purpose and create a welcoming entrance from UCSI site. Next, I extrude the dome as a hierarchy of the building and outdoor space at the back side. Lastly, I carve it to detail out all the edges, opening, and the circulation purpose. Let's move to the potential of site. I will show how the building responds to the site in the meantime. When respond to the sun, the building is always allowed direct sunlight during the morning time. Filter away the evening sunlight, which is the hottest time, by using the dry seaweed as a shading device. Seaweed will also create a beautiful shadow under the space. When respond to the wind, due to the higher point of sight, there is higher wind velocity too. The angle of the building is perfectly trap the cold air and filter out the hot air. In addition, the dry seaweed will create a more effect when the winds comes through it. When respond to the view, the site is very high, so it will be able to capture a better view. The surrounding of the site was covered with the greenery, so most of the view is the trees and highest buildings such as condominiums and the UCSI next to the site. When respond to the approach, I propose a link concept that connects the car parks to the UCSI, and it forces the people to pass through the building and increase the interaction between the people. When respond to topo, the green roof was designed to follow by the contour and slowly go higher. So this is the 5 main points of the site responses. Let's move forward to the user profile studies. There is 2 different courses of the student which divide into student X and student Y. My student X is an interior architecture student and student Y is a food science student. I have studied on the spatial requirements, programs, and daily timetable for each user to understand their needs. Based on my study, my student Y, who is the food science student, was undergo an interesting experiment on aquatic food science, which is to study about the aquatic ecosystem in terms of the aquatic food production, fish waste utilization, and maintenance of the seaweed in order to maintain a good aquatic ecosystem and self-sustain in the specific space. When we talk about water, I will think about how water creates space and how water makes building to achieve self-sustain. So, by using this concept, basically we need a rainwater collector to collect the water. After the filtration, the water will be channeled to the aquarium for the student Y in the lab to observe on the aquatic food production. The seaweed in the aquarium can undergo the drying process, and the fish waste can be used as a fertilizer for the garden to able to achieve the self-sustain in real life. When applied to the architecture aspect, the water can perfectly use to cooling down the space when it play around the motion of the water. And the water can be reused to watering the plant and also the green roof, and lastly go back to the rainwater collector and repeat the cycle. In addition, the garden has to located between the kitchen and the lab for easy access to collect goods and for observation. Aquarium also can locate around the private areas such as the resting area to filter out the noise and avoid direct view. The seaweed drying process can locate at the door and act as a shading device material for the building as a feature. In terms of serving of the publics, the fish, seaweeds, and planting are able to serve as dining to the publics, food nutrition for the human, and lab experiment for the food science student. I have deep some spatial concept for each space to study the application of the cycle in the buildings and make use of the water motion. This is a schedule of the accommodation and the bubble diagram for the project. Let's move to the side of the building. This is the key plan for the project. It is located in Cheras, Kuala Lumpur. And this is the location plan. The site is at the Taman Konok next to the UCSI University. This is my site plan which shows the linkage of the car parks here to the UCSI Block A. The building was trying to lead the people to participate the journey, and this is one of the strategy to let people walk through the greenery. Move to my ground floor plan. My main program is the interactive communal space, which is a middle one. This is open spaces that are able to collect goods from beside garden to the preparing room, and a mini yard here to maintain the garden and store the goods to achieve the self-sustain. Noontime, it can be a mini auditorium for the people here to gather and listen to the presentation or lecture. This is a communal spaces perspective view, which is also a dining space for the people here, and a gathering space and a presentation space to let people to have a presentation or the lecture. Nighttime, it can be an event spaces over here and can be extended out to the outdoor. So it is actually a transformative space in terms of the living space and the working space. When people enter from the car parks, there will be a lounge over here, and they can choose either to participate in or pass through the buildings to the UCSI. From UCSI entrance, there will be an aquarium journey to let the user experience it. This is the perspective for the aquarium. For the outdoor spaces, it can be an event space at night, but it also can be an extension from the Mac lab and the studio for the architecture student to have their larger space to do their works. So this is a perspective view for the outdoor area, and here is the studio come out, and here is the Mac lab. So this is the connecting of the Mac lab and the studio spaces. And here is, you can see the seaweed as a shading device. When go up to the first floor, it is more like a quiet workshop spaces to let people to do their tasks. Hidden office located here to manage the whole building easily, and here will be a mini hammock space for them to have a nap over here and resting. So this is a perspective view for the workshop spaces. Let's move. This is my section 1 to 50 scale, show all the cut details of the building such as a green roof, walls, floors, staircase, curtain wall, windows, and aquariums. This is a north elevation with the back door of the buildings. And here is the east elevation. This is the entrance from the UCSI. And this is the west elevation. Here is the entrance from the car parks. And here is the green roof. This is the south elevation, which is the facade of the buildings. Let's move to the exploded axonometry. First, show the underground rainwater collector that placed at the lowest point of the ground and collect water from the roof. Then the water will be filtered and channeled to the aquarium, which acts as a noise buffer of the space for the lab and the resting area underneath. Then the water will be channeled out to the top of the dome roofing and cooling down the space during the hottest time. Then the water will be channeled downwards to the trees in the middle of the buildings, and the green roof, and finally go back to the rainwater collector again. The aquarium is also provide the seaweeds to the outdoor area as a shading device to filter out the sunlight and create the more effect when winds come. During morning, the space for the studio over here for the student X. Here is a mini lounge for people as a waiting area, and here is a lab for the student Y. And here is a preparing room, and this is a small yard for maintain and observe the garden. The outdoor area as a transformative spaces, maybe here the student Y is observing on the seaweed, and then the communal spaces will be a dining area for the publics. And go to the first floor, it is the reading space for the people to study, and the office. During noon, all this space will remain the same, but will open up from the studio. The outdoor spaces can be extended out as a working space for doing their furniture workshop or larger project and tasks. While in the communal space, it becomes a florist or baking space and a presentation space. When go up to the first floor, it becomes a discussion space and also a nap or resting space. During night, all this space will remain the same, but when opened up from the studio, the outdoor area becomes an event space. It can be such as Saturday night, exhibition, jamboree, or more. But go up to the first floor, it becomes a quiet drawing space or a study area for the people. In terms of the construction method, the dome roofing is a steel shell structure supported by the steel beam and covered by the glass roof panels. For the hammock structure as a feature of the building, is using the net string and supported by the steel beam with the ring around it to carry the load. The construction of the aquarium will be made by the glass tank and connected by the thick string of silicone gel along the edges of back surface and smoothen the gel with finger. Lastly, check the aquarium by pouring water for any linkage. That will be the steel structure to carry the aquarium too. The timber structure using the lightweight construction because it has the potential to improve the sustainability and affordability of homes. The joint of the timber beam and columns is L bracket which constructed easily. For the green roof, it serves several purposes for the building such as absorbing the rainwater, providing insulation, increased malevolence, and decreased stress of the people around the roof. And it also helps to lower the urban air temperature and mitigate the heat island effects. Lastly, the foundation is used the strip foundation. It has chosen because it has the ability to withstand the great load, easy to build and long service life. Cement finishing is used in the building to enhance the raw material of the buildings. So, by going through my presentation of the project, I hope I'm able to deliver a self-sustained message to you through the concept from the aquatic ecosystem applied in these buildings. That's all for my presentation. Thank you.